Welcome back. You're watching Racing to Win. This is Hong Kong's twice weekly racing show, and what a field we've got coming up for here. The first leg of the Hong Kong 4-year-old series. It is the Classic Mile, and California Spangle goes to the 1600 for the first time. Blaze Warrior has the blinkers on, packing victories up in trip to the mile. Far. He's a 5-time 1650 metre winner at Happy Valley. Master Delight's proven course and distance. The Irishman slow out last time, but then ran third behind Beluga. Satanta goes from the 14 to the 1600 metres. Copefield has the cross nose band off, the tongue tie on, and the 13 Sight Spirit, since stepping to the 1400 metres, is unbeaten at his last 3 starts. Speed map, so important here, Tom, with such an even field. Who are the winners and who are the losers?
Well, obviously a loser from the draws is California Spangle from barrier 13, but he's obviously got a lot of speed to Paul to be able to come across them. But is a case of Chadwick gets to the front and drops the handbrake?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Like, he tried to do that. Remember when he drew wide and he over that 1200 metres, he got to the front easy enough, but he just drove them into the ground. 1600 metres is a different kettle of fish. You wouldn't want to over race here. Lucky with you, we know he's got speed. I think Packing Victory from his draw is going to be one of the winners, as is Romantic Warrior. Both those two horses can get nice runs.
All right, so that's how the speed is going to play out for the Classic Mile. A couple of graphics to look at, and firstly, it's back to the previous winners here, Paul. Excellent proposal, and won Golden 62 years ago.
Yeah, so good horses win this race, don't they? Rapid Dragon back to 2017. Ferrore, who went on and won the Derby as well. So, look, it's a good race, and this year's no exception.
And Tom, it's not easy to win the clean sweep, the 4-year-old series. Here's the Mile, Cup and Derby over the past 10 years.
Yeah, and it sort of gives you a good guide towards the Cup and the Derby, does the Classic Mile. More often than not, the winner comes through the race, or at least in the top 4 anyway, and they go on and be competitive on all 3 legs of or the other 2 legs of the series, Paul.
Yeah, they definitely do. Taking away from that, if you're in the Cup, whoever wins this, back him for 4th.
And Golden 60 and Rapid Dragon, the 2 that went right through undefeated in the last 10 years. Tony Cruz, he had a night out at Happy Valley last Wednesday night. He'll be hoping that form continues when he saddles up California Spangle and also I'm a Single Man.
Tony, great to chat to you before a big race meeting coming up at Sha Tin this weekend. You've got a couple of runners in the 4-year-old Classic Mile. We'll start with California Spangle, who's been so exciting in recent racing. Just touching on that victory last time, that was mightily impressive.
I'm very happy with him because what we planned to perform, he has achieved that, and now we're stepping up a bit further. We still have high hopes that he can still run out the mile. I believe he should be able to dictate the race and try to win like he's been doing in the past, you know.
Just obviously you've had this horse a fair while now. He's had, I think, around half a dozen runs for you. Have you always got the impression from him that he could be a miler and a horse that could go a little bit further?
Yeah, sure. You know, I've ridden many horses in the past, from 1,000 to 2004 even. You know, and I believe he can get to 1,600. That's what I'm hoping for anyway.
And just on where you're drawn, you say obviously being able to dictate the race. He's not been served overly well by the barrier. Would that be any sort of concern in your mind, or are you happy that he perhaps can get across and lead?
Well, he's the fastest horse in that field, that's for sure. You know, and I believe he can still dictate the race, go and lead the race, I mean.
And obviously a jockey on board that knows him well. Matthew did win on him on International Day, so that's certainly a plus as well, I'm sure.
That's for sure, yeah.
You've got I'm a Single Man in the race also. He's another on-pace runner. He's done nothing wrong leading up to this race.
No, you know, he's side by Gingerbread Man. I believe he gets the distance too, you know. I believe he gets to 2,000 even. I'm not worried about this distance. I believe he'll be racing a bit handy too. And I think he's still got a shot. And
just on this horse, obviously, he's upwardly mobile. He continues to improve. Is this a fair test of his ability? I mean, he's probably stepping into a very stronger race than what he has faced, but he's done nothing wrong. Yeah, well, he's stepping up to Group 1 race, right? So, and I believe he's got a shot in it. I believe he'll be very close. I don't dare say he'll win the race, but, you know, he'll be in the finish, I reckon. And just for you and your stable, you're having a great run at the moment. There was, I think, 3 at Happy Valley on Wednesday night, so that was a good night at the office. Horses are in good form. How much would it please you to tick off a race like this in what is a very competitive year?
You know, being at home is different from being at the races. You know, I prefer to be at the races. But, you know, you get more nervous at home than at the races, really. But, you know, I like to sell out my horses, and I like to see them close to me, and I can see more about the horse, you see. So I believe the horses, both of them are really prepared for the race. I'm not worried about the draw, but I think we're going to be very close in that race.
And just obviously on this race, now this is at the forefront, but just looking ahead, they come through the mile A-OK. Is the plan to certainly go on to the next couple of legs, would you imagine?
Sure, we take it from here. If he wins the races, then we take it from where we should go with the horse, you know, like the Derby and stuff like that. But we see the Classic Mile is coming up at the end of the month too, in February, right? So anyway, we see from there. We see how this race comes out first. You know?
We will indeed. Plenty to look at here, so we move straight on to the next couple of horses here, Tom, and Packing Victory. That is him up outside the leader. He's out of this field, as is Blaze Warrior, and of the two, Packing Victory appears to be going the better at the moment.
Yeah, Blaze Warrior just seems to have gone off the boil a little bit. John Size is trying to rectify that by slapping a set of blinkers on him this weekend. So I've left him out, but definitely got Packing Victory in, Paul. He's taken the season so far by storm, really, with what he's been able to do. 4 wins from 6 starts. He just keeps on improving.
He does, and being by a reliable man, the 1600 looks good for him as well. He's one of the major chances for me, Packing Victory. Should get a nice run from barrier 4 as well.
You've had some real love for this horse on a Wednesday night, Paul. This is Far. Now, he's proven at the distance at Happy Valley. He's proven at 1,800 metres, so he's going to get the trip. What about the class? Yeah,
well, this is the query for him. I think he's up to the class. I mean, his rating proves that. He's up to a rating of 88 now. Look, the horse is going so well. He just keeps winning them in a row. Look, I prefer him in the Cup, I think, over the mile, but I still think he's going to run a race.
Yeah, you can't fault the way he's been going, and that horse that was running on down the outside was Beluga. We know the form stacked up well with him winning.
These two, Tom, Romantic Warrior, well, you can't fault him because he's unbeaten. Lucky with you, he has to settle for a placing here. He's beaten a length and a quarter, and the pair of them, they both go to the 1600 for the first time, like so many others in this race. No concerns at all with Romantic Warrior coming to 1600 metres. He's looked bomb-proof really so far with what he's been able to do. Was able to get out of the trail there and has ended up winning by a bit over a length, Paul, once he put them to the sword here. Lucky with you, he had his chance, just wasn't good enough to reel him in on the day.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of query with the 16 a little bit as well with him, with Lucky with you. I agree with you. Romantic Warrior goes in for me. He's one of the main chances as well.
Lovely pick-up ride for Karis Teaton with Joe committing to Master Delight. Could this be the forgotten horse, Paul? This is Sight Spirit, who, when he's stepped up in trip, has really found some form. This is over the 1600 metres, so he is proven at the trip.
He is. There's no question with that. Now, he's the unknown, isn't he? Because he's still on this rating of 79, but he's only had the 5 starts. He's won his last 3, and once he stepped up to 1600 metres, there was no problems with it at all. Look, he's got to do it off the rating, but, you know, what is his true rating? We don't know yet.
No, we don't, and he's drawn middle of the line here. He should be relatively handy. One would think it was an easy win on this occasion. Drew away from another 4-year-old series contender a little bit further down the line, Captain Win, but look, he could be, for sure, the forgotten horse in the race.
And Captain Win runs in the race, prior race number 8 this week as well, to see if he presses on in the 4-year-old series. What a field, Paul. So hard to narrow it down to just 4.
It is very, very hard, but you have to. So I've gone with the Irishman. Sort of been with him both his starts, and they've both been fantastic runs off slow pace. There's no way he's going to get a slow pace in this race. So he's on top, the Irishman, to beat Packing Victory, a Romantic Warrior and Far. 9, 4, 7 and 5.
On top for me is Romantic Warrior to make it 5 from 5. The 1600 metres he should really relish here and be tough to beat, I feel, Romantic Warrior. Don't think there's a lot between the Danny Shum pair. Packing Victory goes in as the Quinella horse. Far makes it in, and it was a better run we saw from Rocket Spade last start at Happy Valley. 2 runs ago he was disappointing, didn't really get the tempo to suit and wasn't able to run on. So 7, 4, 5 and 10.